Story 1. Am I being haunted? Or is this something different? Advice. Hi everyone, this is my first ever post on Reddit, and I'm only posting on here because my partner thinks I might be able to get some advice. I've also posted this to other subreddits as well, because I am desperately seeking opinions. I feel like I'm going insane. I have lived in my house my entire life. It's a 2-story brick home with wooden floors and a 2-room extension on the back of it, looking out into the backyard. That's where I live. I have my bedroom and my lounge room that are connected. There's direct entry into the lounge room through the back door that comes from the yard. It's important to note that my bedroom window is on a 2nd story. My 6'8" partner had to be on his tippy toes to touch the glass of my window. For quite a while I have felt incredibly uneasy being home alone, whether is it during the day or at night. My partner and I chalked it up to poor mental health, considering no one else in my family seemed to notice anything off. Another point of note, all the women in my family, including me, have experienced something of the paranormal in their lives. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I woke up to what I believe to be the sound of my back door handle being played with. It's an old squeaky glass and wood door with metal handles, a very distinct sound. After being frozen in place for quite a while, I then turned in bed to face my window and grab my phone. I have horrible eyesight, but what I believe I saw was a tall, white, skinny figure right at the back of my yard near my dad's shed. I rubbed it off as a trick of my mind, and went back to bed after shutting my curtains. Another note, I used to always sleep with my curtains open until this incident. A few days ago I was laying in bed watching TikToks. It was about 1 a.m. and I hadn't slept yet. I also wasn't tired at all. My curtains were closed but my window was open. My phone was on full brightness and my volume was loud too. When I eventually turned off my phone and rolled over, I heard a very clear, distinct knocking on my bedroom window. It was knuckles on glass. After being completely frozen for about 3 to 5 minutes, I rolled over and called my dad. Call went to voicemail. After the voicemail tone rang out I heard shuffling and movement from under my window. Dad eventually came with a floodlight torch, and nothing. My partner was worried about a stalker, so we set up a Ring camera. There's been nothing yet. Not even a single animal. I am house sitting currently but I visited my home at around 2 p.m. yesterday. Home alone. Front door was locked but back door was open as I was repotting a plant in my yard. I have had really good mental health recently, so I know my feelings are not attributed to that. Sitting in the backyard I thought I could hear walking around in the house behind me, and I distinctly remember being too scared to look back at the house from the yard. I got cold all over, like my body froze up. I feel okay being in my room or my lounge room, but the rest of the house gives me a deep uneasy feeling that nags at me constantly when I'm alone. My entire life I've always known when I've been watched as I get a sharp tingling down my spine. It can happen at random, but it is always followed by that incredibly intense uneasy feeling. I don't know what to do. If anyone has any advice or ideas that would be greatly appreciated. Story 2. We messed up. My brother and I liked to explore abandoned places, but today we made a grave mistake. Our next-door neighbor, a 20-something-year-old woman, not gorgeous but also not ugly, she was I'd say average. My brother liked her so we often hung out at hers, but one day she had told him a place we could have explored. So we got all of our things, and we went. It seemed like your typical rundown building. It was a parking lot. There were some cars there which I found quite confusing but my brother paid no mind. Like usual, I signed under my breath. He turned to me, "Hey, Frankie. Maybe we should split up," he says in a sort of joking tone, knowing how scared I am alone. What? No. We should stick together. He cuts me off by running away, off to one of the upper floors, so I swallow my fear and pull my phone out to call my friend, Ryan, for some company as I take the elevator to the basement floor. "Hey Franklin. What place are you guys at now?" Ryan asks. Some Abandoned parking lot but said we should split up. I responded, my voice was kind of shaky but Ryan picked up on that, so that's why you called. I'm sorry man, Luke's kinda weird ain't he? Typical white stuff. He jokes, trying to calm me down. At least we're only related by marriage, he's kind of scary dash. Something catches my eye, something putrid and dank. All through I can't see it well, I can see a sort of outline. I face my flashlight toward it and I freeze and gasp before it clicks. Just some trash. I say, grasping at my chest before skittishly heading back to the elevator. You okay, Frank? Something scare you? Yeah man, sorry re, just some piles of rotting trash. I almost threw up though. Finally, as I arrived back at the ground floor, I hear my brother, Lucas, scream bloody murder. My eyes widened as my body moved without second thought. I'm running through up to where he was, and when I finally get there he's laying there on his final breaths. His torso twisted tightly, his body looked empty, as though all his organs were removed. His throat scratched up like his blood-curdling scream messed it up. His empty void-like eyes piercing me, cutting thin through the atmosphere. His horrid body towers up above mine as his jaw completely falls off. No blood or anything. I saw his vocal cords hanging out of him, but even with none he still had an ear-rupturing yell. He chased me all the way to the elevator where he was far too tall to fit into, his arms only lay small and shriveled by his sides like prunes. As the elevator ascends I panic and yell at Ryan to contact the police. I make it to the top and I can hear those blood-curdling screams quicken up the floors and I fall out the elevator as soon as the doors open. I gather myself and I reach into my waistband, pulling out the emergency pistol. I sit in a corner waiting for him. He speeds up and once he finally arrives I unload all my bullets into him, with my eyes closed. When I opened them I've come to realize it was a hallucination of some sort. The police had arrived but, brother's body, bullet holes make him look like a block of cheese. Everything hits me as I begin to retch and sob, pleading insanity and telling them about Ryan. The police then informed me I had never contacted Ryan, and in fact my best friend was dead. They sent me to a mental asylum and on this day, this night, I will finally escape. They can't keep me here.